We'd like to welcome David Hearn to the interview room of the RBC Canadian Open. You're making I think this will be your 11th start, and you've played here before. I think you played in 06 and had a good finish. I think tied for 20.
I played here in 03 and 06.
So 03 and 06. Yeah. Let's talk about the state of your game and coming off a pretty good finish in Mississippi last week.
Yeah, obviously quite a bit of a different challenge last week to this week, but I feel like my game is solid. I didn't have my best stuff last week and was able to kind of get a lot out of it. And this is a golf course here in Hamilton that we're going to have to drive it very well to have a good week. Obviously the greens are tricky, so in and on the greens are going to be a priority for me in preparation. So I feel like I have all those parts of my game in good shape, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Let's take some questions.
David, I just want to say congrats on the birth of your daughter, and just how has becoming a father changed you, changed your schedule? I know it's early, but changed anything so far?
Yeah, I took a few weeks off, so it definitely changed my schedule a little bit. It's been exciting. I think anyone who's had a child before knows it's a pretty special moment, and we're very excited and proud, and it's a new chapter of our lives, and we're really looking forward to it.
Did you consult your buddy John on becoming a father? And just a follow-up to that, I just wanted your remark on John qualifying for the Open this week as well.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. I think we got quite a few Canadians through in the Monday qualifier yesterday, so obviously it's great to see a lot more Canadians out here this week. And John, he's been not playing the golf that I know he's capable of, and hopefully he'll turn it around this week in Hamilton here.
It's been said that for a Canadian to play well this week is a tough challenge, to say the least. To get your game up for one specific tournament is rather difficult. Is it unfair to see it's been 50 plus years and 58 years since a Canadian won this? Is it unfair to see that every year?
Honestly, like you bring up some good points. Like, there's only a few players in the world that are really capable of gearing their games up properly for a few events a year. And, those are like the Tigers and the Phils and players like that. And to be competitive in any particular PGA event is not an easy thing to do. So for anyone to try to gear up and then be competitive at a week like this, that's why it hasn't happened in 58 years. Mike, for the last decade, up until the last, few years, he's been playing world-class golf, and a player of his ability level, he came very close, and was it 2004? And, so it's definitely something that is not an easy task at any PGA event, let alone for a Canadian to do it here in Canada. That being said, all the Canadians here really do feel like, we want to make the country proud, we want to play well, we want to do very well for everyone. And, I certainly hope that, that 58 years without a Canadian holding the trophy ends soon, but I can't predict what's going to happen. I'd like it to be me, but I'd like it to be anybody. I'd just like someone to achieve it, and I think it'd be a lot of fun and it'd be a great story.
This isn't a home course because you're from down the road, but this is pretty much as close as you're going to get. And I assume you're very familiar with this place?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Brantford's going to be hosting the Canadian Open anytime soon. So, yeah, a few logistical issues. Great golf course, but just not going to host the Canadian Open. So this is as close as I'm going to get to a home game, and I really do feel like it is. It feels like it is a home tournament for me. I've got a lot of friends and people even out in the practice days coming up and talk to me, and it's going to be a lot of fun for me to play this week. It was in 2006 and in 2003. I get to stay at home and sleep in my own bed as well, so it really does feel like a home game being here.
Still home, right?
Still
sort of kind of as much as anywhere?
Summer, yeah.
Lastly, how many times will you have played this golf course? And I mean, obviously not as much as Brantford, but I assume you played this lots.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. I didn't play it a lot as a junior player, but I have some. There's a friend of mine that I've known since junior golf that's been a member here, and we play together every summer. And I've got a few friends that are members here, and it seems like I play here probably a handful of times every year. And it is a golf course that I'm very familiar with, and I guess you're always learning new things every time you play, but it's a place that I am familiar with.
Dave, just continuing on with the local angle, I talked with Adam Hadwin yesterday about playing in Vancouver last year,
Yeah.
being an Abbotsford guy, and he talked about, the way a player approaches it, and he said he likes to, just kind of relish it, just kind of enjoy the moment, his friends, his family around him, that type of thing. Do you approach it differently, or is that the way you would approach it as well, or do you have to? I find that some players have to tune things out as opposed to taking it all in.
Yeah, Adam had pretty good success there last year, so it seemed to work. Maybe that's the formula I need to look into. So, but no, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people out here this week, that want to see me do well, and I obviously want to play well. But I'm trying to treat it, like I prepare for a lot of different events. Obviously, being a Canadian and here at the Canadian Open, our time is a little bit more limited preparing for the event, but I feel like I've done a great job preparing leading up to this. So, I try not to treat it too differently, and I would love to play well in front of my family and friends, but I try not to do too much different.
Would you just
Anybody
talk
else?
a little bit about your season, just to how you played this year, from your top 10 at Sony when you started your season to last week in Mississippi?
Yeah, it seems like every year is an interesting year, and this year I got off to a great start with that 10th place finish in Sony. I was just a couple shots off the lead going into the weekend, and it was a goal of mine to be in contention more this year. It's something I haven't really been that successful with yet so far. I've had a lot of very good finishes, but I haven't really been in contention too much on the weekends. So, I feel like I've made a lot of progress over my game last year. I feel like I'm a lot more consistent and I'm getting a lot more out of my game. But I also feel like there's room for improvement, and I'd like to see myself get into contention here sometime soon.
Really quickly, your game would seem to suit this golf course kind of well. You drive the ball very straight, and maybe not the longest guy on tour, but you know, this is not a golf course that's going to be overwhelmed by length, I would think, anyway.
No.
From your experience of playing this, I mean, sort of size it up versus how you're playing at the moment?
Yeah, I tend to be a kind of player that I play pretty steady golf. I don't make a lot of bogeys. I tend to do well at tournaments like the Greenbrier, where you're not going to make a lot of birdies, and your goal is to keep the bogeys off the card a little bit. So this is a type of golf course that really does reward steady play and good short game. So that's what I've been doing very well the last couple of years, and hopefully it suits me well this week. But you do need to make birdies to win, so I got to work on that.
Anything else? David, we really appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you
for
so
coming
much.
in.
Yeah.